Hey guys, long time no see. I'm glad you're here. There's been a lot going on, and I have not had time to vlog and edit videos recently. Lacrosse season is in full swing, so we've been traveling for games and having practices and all that good stuff that I absolutely love. But I think it's time to tell you what's been going on. A little bit of volatility at the station. As you can see, I am not in my usual area, and I'm not in my usual truck, except now this is my usual area and my usual truck. So let's talk about what happened. Also, I'm about 12 minutes into my new area and 12 stops down. So needless to say, I'm relatively happy with doing this area so far. The last time y'all saw me, I was doing the usual route that you guys are used to. I go and do about 100 or so deliveries on average. I go home for a little bit, and then I go do my scheduled pickups, and that's my day. And I'll be honest, it was nice because I think I was working an average of like 5 hours a day, which is great. But I was getting a little bit bored, and I was kind of starting to want a raise, and coming to this area gave me that opportunity. So, how did that opportunity arise, you ask? Stick with me, seatbelt Nazis. I know I just took my seatbelt off and I haven't put it back on yet, but I'll explain why I'm doing that specifically now that I have a seatbelt that works. But first, more important details. I'm coming into work one day last week. It's like 7:30, and my coworker, who this is usually his route, is coming out. And I asked, "Where are you going?" And so he explains to me that they took his truck to the mechanic shop last night and they didn't bring it back in time for it to get sorted. So he's kind of upset because he has 220 stops so far and they're all on carts. And he says something as he's leaving along the lines of, "I'll come back when my truck is back and loaded," which honestly, to a degree, I think is kind of fair. So I go about my day and sort my truck and start my deliveries. And I'm about 63 deliveries in when I get a call from my manager. And I answer, and he says, "Hey, this guy never came back in, said he's not coming in today. You are way faster at deliveries than I am, or anybody else we have available. Can I come and finish your route, and you do as much of this route as you can?" And I, being the somewhat rebellious but good employee that I am, said, "Okay." So he comes out and finds me with this truck. It's all loaded up. It's not very well organized, but whatever. What can you do? And I take over and I start doing the deliveries. I get down to this area and I start going at it as fast as I can. Again, that route had about 220 deliveries, and so they actually ended up sending a guy out to me to take about 30 off so that I could be done around the same time I'm usually done with my pickup. So instead of going home and having a lunch break, I actually just delivered right through the entire day. Not that big of a deal because I actually live in this area. So I stopped by my house. My wife whipped together a really nice food bag for me, and I was good to go for the most part. I ended up doing like 40 an hour or something, and by the end of the day, between my 63 stops that I ended up doing on my route and the 192 stops that I did on this route, I ended up doing 250, which, before I accepted it, they said, of course, we're gonna pay you for it and make sure that you get taken care of for doing this for us, which was very, very nice of them. Now, as I'm running this route, the gears start to turn in my head, and I start putting some puzzle pieces together. One is that I live in this area. It's a really nice part of Utah, and I like delivering in it. The people are nice, the houses are beautiful, the properties are all well taken care of, and you can go really, really fast when you're delivering here. So all cool things. So I reach out to my coworker and say, "Hey man, what ended up happening? You didn't come back? Question mark. They've actually got me doing your route now." And he texts me back and says, yeah, I quit. I'm gonna start working for another contractor in the building, which is true. Next day he shows up to work, he's still on the same belt as we are with all of our trucks. He's just working for a different contractor, which, I mean, I think that this was somewhat pre-contemplated, that it wasn't all about the truck not being ready when he got there. That was just a convenient excuse to finally make this move that he was looking to make. So I see an opportunity that I hadn't seen before, and it was the opportunity to take over this specific route, where I know that the guy who worked on it got off earlier than I did. I know that the guy who worked it got paid more than I did. And I know that he has to do a lot more furniture than everybody else. So that one's kind of a downside. But I was thinking to myself, if I can just easily go back to my house for a little bit and rest, who cares if I'm delivering a lot of furniture? Now, that is not to say that this area is easy. I'm currently in the condo section of the area, and I've been going up and down stairs this whole time. But also, I am 30 minutes in, and I've done 20 deliveries. So I am currently on track for 40 an hour for the day, which will get me done really, really quickly, which I love. I love going fast, as you guys know. Some of you don't think that's that important, which to a degree it's not, but to a degree it is as well. It gives me a big mental boost throughout the day to know I'm going fast and I can anticipate when about I'm going to be done. This area has its quirks, like I said, like any other area, one of which is it is extremely new development, and so there are people moving in all the time, which is why there's so much furniture to deliver. And it means that my stop count will continue to grow and grow as more and more people move in and more housing is completed. Now, seatbelt Nazis, are you still with me? I hope so, because every time I have cut in the video so far, it has been as I've gotten to a stop. So as you can go back and look, there's not a lot of time in between my stops. As an example, right here. Ta-da! It's on! So hopefully you haven't gone down into the comments section already and said something like, no seatbelt? Shameful. I imagine that kid from Polar Express with the glasses who sounds super annoying every time someone comments about the seatbelt stuff. The reason I haven't been wearing it is because I have been in one concentrated neighborhood this whole time. Now that I'm going out on a main road to get to another neighborhood, I am going to throw it back on for a moment. But most of my stops are like 20-ish yards apart. 50 like on the high end. So if I were to take my seatbelt off and put it on every single time, it would be ridiculous. The seatbelt would burn out like that and they'd have to replace it. And we break seatbelts like freaking crazy around here. Now notice, I'm already to my next one. And I put my seatbelt on it for it, even though it wasn't that far, just because I went down a main road, which is when you'll usually see me throw it on. So after considering all of the variables that day as I was doing this route, how close the stops are together, how quickly I can go, how much furniture there's gonna be, how many stairs I have to go up and down in these condos. After weighing out all those things, I reached out to my contractor and I said, hey, I'm one of the most senior guys that you have. I'm probably best equipped to run this route that's being left behind, and I'd love to take it over if you can guarantee that I'll be making more money, which he said, yes, absolutely, you will be making more money. I trained one of the new kids on my route. I've been helping him out a little bit with sorting his truck so far as I've been running this route this week, and he's doing great. So I think this is the future for me. Now, one thing I will say is it probably seems like this area is a dream. It's a newer development, the houses and the yards are nice, everything's close together, yada, yada, yada. But this area tends to be a time bomb. So what I mean by that is it will average its 200 stops a day, and then one day, randomly, it'll wind up and throw 250 to 300 at you. Now, that's a nice big payday for the driver, but it's also a nice big pain in the butt. So, hasn't happened yet. I've actually had it really mild so far. Part of that is because of the snowstorm. I think I had 180 on Monday. I had 96 yesterday because of the snow. So many semi-trucks got weathered. And then I have 166 today. So far so good. I do need more because I am somewhat paid based on the volume. So I'd like to see some more in order to get that pay increase that my boss guaranteed me. But I love this area. That's why we live here. So it's hard for me to complain too much. I'll just let you look around this neighborhood and kind of see what I'm talking about. New house being thrown up on the left. Spaces where houses definitely will go. Houses that are finished but are still having yards done. For sale signs. This is like the typical look of this area, and furniture. Furniture for everybody. But I mean, look at this. Gotta love those lakeside mountain views, right? Crazy. Anyway, I slowed down just a little bit to chat with you guys. I'm going to throw on a podcast, get after it, give you some time-lapse footage as we always do, and maybe I'll check in with you here and there. If not, I'll see you at the end of the route. Just finished up my last delivery. I was delivering for about 4.5 hours. I was doing about 38 an hour. It does open up on the south end of my area, especially on a lighter day like today. The stops weren't as clumped together as I would have liked in order to make it so I was going really fast, but I'm happy with that for the most part. I'm getting off here around 1:30. So, I mean, it is really hard to complain about a day like today, other than I won't be getting paid as much as I do when I get off earlier. But hey, thanks for being here today. I appreciate you watching this video. I'm hoping it was at least somewhat entertaining for you to hear me talk about the drama of the last couple of weeks. The last thing I would ask for you before you go is head down to the description and check out some of the links that are down there. I do have affiliates on this channel. One is Axle Ear Pro. I'm actually not wearing them right now. Mine are in my range bag, and I keep forgetting to pull them out of my range bag in order to bring them to work. But I have these ones that are very nice. But Axle Ear Pro are hearing safe for shooting. They are protective. They reduce sound by up to 29 decibels, which is way better than almost every other ear pro out there on the market. I really like it to keep things quiet in here for me. Trucks can get really loud and can be loud enough to damage your hearing, so it's important if you are a delivery pro to protect that hearing. But the Axle Buds are also Bluetooth capable. and active listening. So you can flip them on and hear what people are saying to you perfectly fine, and then flip them off. And the other affiliate that I'd like to talk about is Lem's Shoes. Today, I was rocking the Outlander, which is a nice, rugged, really grippy kind of hiking style boot. That's what it's geared for. That's what I use it for. I use it for hiking and being out in the mountains, but it's a little bit snowy and slippery today. All that should be gone by tomorrow, so I'll probably switch to a different Lem's offering, but check out the link and go over and get yourself a pair of really good, solid quality footwear that would be good for anything. They've got good shoes for running, they've got good shoes for lifting, hiking, obviously, and then I really like their boots for the work that I do here. I think they hold up perfectly fantastic, so go ahead and check those all out. Kind of wanted to poll the audience here at the end of the day. I started the process of deleting the Instagram that I started just because I didn't have time for it, and I only had like 65 followers after a month and a half, 2 months of having that channel. If you happen to be interested in more daily content for Instagram, let me know down in the comment section and I will go and rescue it before it's deleted in May. The other thing I wanted to ask is who would be interested in apparel? Something like a hoodie like this, says Delivery Pro, has a stripe across it that looks like an orange seatbelt and says something on the back like Certified Parking Nazi. Just some ideas that I've been having around. If you're interested in some Delivery Pro apparel, let me know down in the comment section and I'll start working on that. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like and subscribe and tune in next time. I'm going to try my best to vlog the next time that I have a really, really heavy day in here. So I'm thinking 200 plus deliveries, and I'll bring you along with me for that, and we can see how I handle it in this area specifically. I appreciate you watching, and as always, deliver safely.